Hello, people of Our Lady Perpetual Help. This is your pastor coming at you with this week's installment of Flock Notes. And here we are at the end of August already, so September is here in less than a few days. And just so you know, this is Thursday that I'm recording this, so if I refer to tomorrow or yesterday, you know which days I'm referring to. And as we prepare to enter into September, I think a lot of us, myself included, are filled with heavy hearts over the events that happened yesterday in Minnesota, where two young people lost their lives. There were, I think, 18 others that were injured, and the physical injury, but the spiritual and the emotional injury that many have felt in that community. We pray for God's healing. And we pray that in this time, we pray for especially for the two who lost their lives for the repose of their souls. That hopefully we have two more champions in heaven that are offering their prayers for each one of us. But also too, in this time, we have heavy hearts, and we take a step back from our daily lives, so our daily busyness of life, and we remember and we pray during this time that the Lord will bring all of his people closer to himself, and that they will know the consolation of God. So with that, I want to talk about a couple of events that are coming up here, so we all know what's going on here at OLPH. And like I always say, keep your eyes and ears posted to the ads below me, to the announcements at Mass, to the bulletin, so that we can all be up to date on what's going on here at OLPH. And so, coming up, faith formation is starting. K through 5, or kindergarten through 5th grade, begins September 21st. Middle school begins September 25th. But the kindergarten through 5th grade parents have a welcome back meeting on Sunday, September 14th at 10:45 in the Holy Family Center. And confirmation classes have started and meet on Tuesdays. So please make sure, if we have any high school teens that need to be registered for confirmation, we can get them registered. And our parish rummage sale is coming up. And so donations are accepted September 13th through 18th between 9 and 5 in the social center. And one thing they ask that we do not bring, because we can't sell them and they're heavy to move and everything else: no large appliances, no mattresses, computers, and entertainment centers. And we also have we have here at the parish a bereavement group called Seasons of Hope, and meetings are held on Mondays. And for those, we have a wonderful ministry of the Extraordinary Ministers of Holy Communion. And so if God is calling you to serve in that ministry, we have there's a sign up and a training that's on Tuesday, September 18th. And ministers will also be outside after Masses with more information about all that if you have questions. And so our OCIA, the Order of Christian Initiation for Adults, this is for adults seeking baptism, First Communion, confirmation. So any one of those three, or maybe all of those three, or two of those three sacraments. If you're an adult that's in need of any one, like I said, any one, two, or three of those sacraments, our OCIA is starting up, and so we can be in full communion with the Catholic Church. Classes have already started, I should say, but they meet on Wednesdays, so we can maybe register if we're one of those people that need those things. So like I said, there's many more other things, so keep your eyes and ears open to the bulletin, to the announcements at Mass, and so that we all know what's going on here at LLPH. And so I want to talk a little bit about the readings we're going to hear this Sunday, especially the first reading. The first reading comes from the book of Sirach. And every time we get a reading from the book of Sirach, I always say, I know that the book of Sirach is one of the, probably, for lack of a better term, less popular books of the Bible. But it's a beautiful book because it's written from father to son. And like I said, it gives there's a lot of things in there. And when somebody looks at that, especially men, they can see there's advice in there on how to be better sons, better husbands, better fathers, better followers of God. And so, like I said, Sirach is not one of those ones that people talk about all the time, but there's a lot of wonderful stuff in there. So we should, whenever we hear a reading from the book of Sirach, maybe pay a little attention to what is going to be read. And what's part of what's going to be read this Sunday is part of the advice that Sirach was given his son was, "My child, conduct your affairs with humility, and you will be loved more than a river of gifts. Humble yourself the more, the greater you are, and you will find favor with God. What is too sublime for you, seek not. Into things beyond your strength, search not. The mind of a sage appreciates proverbs, and an attentive ear is the joy of the wise. Water quenches a flaming fire, and alms atone for sins." And so this is advice that I think we can all take. And I think the overarching message in all of this is humble yourself. And so we hear that throughout the Gospels too, of the virtue of humility, of knowing who, as was drilled in our heads when I was in the seminary. We were always told, God is God and you are not. So, therefore, humble yourself before God. And also humble yourself before others, because those of us, especially those of us who are Catholics, have the physical living God living within them because they receive communion. All of humanity has the power of God and God with them always as well, because without God sustaining our lives would end pretty quick. So with that, I hope to say you all have had a great week, and I hope to see you all at Mass on Sunday.